Oh my gosh, everyone. We are live, and I am on time. Happy full moon in Cancer. I'm so excited that I'm on time and that I'm all ready for you. So let me start by burning some sage, just to clear the space and also set sacred space. Wow, that light though. I was trying to navigate the lights, because I want you to see the cards. You know what? Let me move my phone back a little while I'm waiting for people to join. That's funny. It looks like it's like raining down on me. I kind of like that. That's funny. Alright, I feel like that's the best we're gonna do. Alrighty, cool. So, it's interesting that the lights seem brighter tonight, isn't it? It is a full moon, so all is illuminated. A full moon in Cancer. So, what does that mean? Well, you may or may not have seen my post earlier today. Cancer's a water sign. Hi Nancy, what's up? And water signs, Pisces, Scorpio, and Cancer are all about emotions. And the moon is ruled by Cancer, or vice versa. And so, really, this sign, out of all the signs in the zodiac, is the most in touch with emotions and emotional truth. And that is what you're probably feeling today. All of the feels. So I'm really curious to see what kind of emotions you're feeling. I missed you too, Nancy. It's good to see you. So here's some of that sage for you, because it seems like it's going to burn out really quickly tonight, which is super interesting. I need to get more sage. So I'm going to burn some Palo Santo. I guess we're good for clearing, as far as clearing goes. So, okay, so what else does this mean? So Cancer is not only in touch with their emotions, they are considered the mother of the zodiac. And what that means is, regardless of whether you're a mother or not, or in the technical sense, it's all about the feeling of coming home and finding places and people that feel like home. And it's a... Hey, that's weird. The Palo Santo doesn't want to light. Also struggle with this lighter. And it's a perfect time to be doing this, because we're still in the season of winter and we're still hibernating, and we do have these retrogrades going on in, there we go, Mercury and Venus. So we're looking at the way we communicate and what we communicate, and we're also looking at our relationships and, you know, how we value ourselves through those relationships. And so there's a lot to be reflecting on. And, you know, I guess the main central question that I kind of was coming into tonight with was, what does home feel like for you? Like, what does that look like? Like, what makes you feel at home? What brings you comfort? Because truly, I feel like that's what this moon can be about. It might not be, you might have to shift some things to get there. You might be in that stage of reflecting on what is and isn't working still. And I think that's a healthy place to be. But yeah, the word yesterday I was feeling was play. I don't know if you saw, I posted my a podcast. I did a podcast with the ladies of Merry Meet, which is a metaphysical shop in Skipback, PA, that I'll be doing tarot card readings at again this year, starting in February. And we just had like the best time playing around. And even in the emails when I was talking about setting up this podcast, the word play kind of, that was what clicked everything in. I'm like, you know what, I'll bring over my computer and we'll play. If the first episode comes out, it comes out. If it doesn't, we'll figure out the site and things like that. But, you know, for me yesterday, that was the emotion. It was play. And then going into today, the word that kept coming up was reflection. And I feel like the reason that word came up is because, to me, reflection is more broad. And like, what the image that kept coming up was like water. and like what you see in that reflection, like when you look into water, since Cancer is a water sign. And, you know, it makes me think of the ocean. You know, the moon rules the tides. Cancers and the moon are at home in one another. That sign is at home. When the moon is full in Cancer, it's at home. It's in home. So, and it makes me think of the tides of the ocean. And when you look into that water and the moonlight's gazing on it, what do you see reflected back to you? And what do you want to see versus what you are seeing? And so this leads me into tonight and the spread I want to do. I'm going to be using the Modern Witch Tarot. I wasn't really sure what deck I wanted to use tonight, but I asked my pendulum, and this is the one. This is the one that popped up, which I love because I like when the symbolism is traditional, but yet like this is like the perfect mix, because I feel like the symbolism is still traditional enough where you can discern the same messages from the cards visually. But anyhow, so I'm going to do this new spread, and what it is, you know, I'm continuing to take classes with the Sage Goddess, and this year the program is Oracle, so we're learning about how to further tap into our psychic gifts, which everyone has. The word psyche is Greek, and it means soul, so, you know, everyone has soul gifts. But what happens is the world, you know, and conditioning gets in because we are humans, and we start defining ourselves by these certain roles. I'm whatever. I'll do me. Like, I'm a tarot card reader. I'm a crystal healer. I'm single. I'm, you know, and like it just keeps layering on. So because I'm single, it must mean this about me, or because I'm that, it must mean this about me. And people often will judge you, and you will judge others based on the role. But this month we're learning about discernment and how to see kind of like underneath the role to the soul of an individual. And so tonight I'm going to take that kind of broader and see what is underneath on the soul level of what's going on. So I'm going to use the tarot to tell us the roles that we're kind of playing into as a collective. And then I'm going to use the Work Your Light Oracle to see what the soul is underneath these roles that we are playing. And yeah, so that's what I'm going to be doing tonight. So without further ado, I'm going to close the window, open a circle, and we're going to get the cards out. I'm going to try to like keep it not too long, but you know, no promise. I'm going to try my very best though to keep it to like 40 minutes or something. And this is important too. I wanted to show you guys my sweatshirt. So like to feel at home, I wanted to wear something that like represents, you know, my like soul, and just something that made me feel comfortable. And this is from my friend Maya. It says healed by crystals and cats. So I wanted to be a little bit more casual tonight and bring that vibe to you so that you can just sit back and relax, which is definitely what I'm going to invite you to do now. And we're going to open a circle and get started. Okay, here we go. So just roll your shoulders back and call your energy into present time. And welcome in the guides and guardians of the 4 directions. Here we go. Guides and guardians of the East, element of air, I welcome you into the circle tonight. Thank you for being here to give us clear messages that are easy to understand. Messages around new beginnings that are on the way. Messages of hope and expansion that is on the way as well. We welcome you with so much gratitude into the circle. Guides and guardians of the South, element of fire, thank you for being here today and tonight. Thank you for showing us, fire, what it is in us, what lights our soul on fire and makes us want to spark joy into our lives and the lives of others. Please show us tonight through the cards and the messages, and show us all that needs to be burned clean and no longer serves us so we can do that. And also any messages of positive transformation that are on the way. Guide us through them and show us how we can best navigate that through with passion. We welcome you with so much gratitude into the circle tonight. Guides and guardians of the west element of water. Tonight we really feel into your watery tides. And thank you for being here so much. We appreciate you and welcome you into the circle with gratitude. Thank you for giving us messages of the ebb and flow of life. What is ebbing and what is flowing right now. And thank you for showing us, reflecting back to us, not just the roles of ourselves, but the soul. Thank you for helping us to see the soul of ourselves, of others in this planet, so we can best move forward in a way that creates a powerful flow of abundance, of everything that is our divine birthright. We welcome you with so much gratitude into the circle. Guides and guardians of the north element of earth, thank you so much for being here tonight. Thank you for giving us messages of peace and protection and patience. So patience to recognize that everything is unfolding in divine timing, and that even though we've started the calendar year, that the astrological year has not started yet, and that we're still culminating things and we're still manifesting. And thank you for keeping us safe and protected throughout these times, and thank you for giving us messages that will help us to do that. We welcome you with so much gratitude into the circle. And finally, I welcome the element of spirit. Thank you so much for being here tonight and breathing life into all of the elements and all of life. Thank you for reminding us that magic is real and that we are magic. We are made of stars. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being here. I welcome you into the circle with so much gratitude. I welcome in all energies of love and light and nothing else. And with that, the circle is open. Amen. Blessed be, harm none. It is done, it is done, it is done. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm at a hoe, and so it is. Woof, that felt good. All right, especially the element of water. I definitely was feeling into that one. So yeah, tonight's word is definitely going to be reflections. All right, so I'm going to start off with the modern witch, and I'm going to pull 3 cards. And so instead of past, present, and future, I don't know how it's going to come out because it's the first time I'm doing this spread. But I want us to think of it more of like, I guess it could be past, present, and future, but I want us to think of it more as just like the roles we're playing right now, and see what's going on there. See what's going on the surface level first, and then we'll do the deeper dive with the oracle. All right, so here we go. Dear God and Goddess, thank you for giving us messages of the highest love, light, and truth on this full moon in Cancer. And thank you in particular for letting us connect in with our emotions and finding a way to see what we want to be reflected back in the waters and the tides. When we gaze into the ocean, let us see what is there, not just on the surface level, but underneath that. And let us connect to the feeling of love, unconditional love. Thank you for giving us messages that will serve our highest good and the highest good of all in perfect time. Amen. Blessed be, harm none. It is done, it is done, it is done. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Amen. Aho, and so it is. Okay. And I'm going to do 3 shuffles tonight, just because that feels good. These cards are always a little tricky to shuffle because they're so slippery. So bear with me. And it always feels like there's more than 78, but there's not. So, alrighty. That's 2. I'm really curious to see what's going to come out, because I have been seeing some themes lately in my personal tarot card readings. Themes of change, a lot of 5s, so I do think we're still wrapping up last year and the messages of last year, because, whoa, man, no matter how far I move it back, it flipped all the way over there. Let's see what that one was. But yeah, what was I saying? Got distracted. Okay, so the star in reverse, it's fine. Card of Aquarius. Interesting. So, the star is Major Arcana 17 of the tarot. And it talks about, it's interesting because there's water. I mean, everyone thinks that Aquarius is, not everyone, but some people think that Aquarius is a water sign. It's actually an air sign, but it's the water bearer. And so to me, it's just really interesting because my eyes gravitate to the fact that she's like dumping water out into the water, like the bigger water. And to me, this just feels like a flowing of emotions, maybe right now on the surface. And what the star card is about hope and inspiration and wish fulfillment. It's like wishing upon a star and those dreams coming true. So on the surface, we're not connected to that sense of hope. And so yeah. So that's definitely something we want to look into on the soul level and to see how we can kind of get beneath that and connect in with that hope again. Because hope is so important. And, just from what I've heard from the people that I talk to that, are into astrology and sense the energy, which I do too, it feels weird right now. You know what I mean? But from what I've heard, it's gonna get better. So hope is definitely something we should have. April, May, June, hold on till the actual start of the year. We're still wrapping things up, is the feeling I was getting. So this doesn't shock me. It's just like a bummer. But, all right. So let's see what other two cards want to come out. So on the surface, things don't look great. Oh, wow. All right. Two more did pop out. Okay. These are upright, which is always nice. Interesting. Okay. And on the bottom of the deck, we have the Four of Swords. So the other two cards that popped out were the Queen of Swords. So this could be air signs, but when it's a collective reading, it usually just isn't one sign, but Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. The Queen of Swords is someone who rules with logic. So on the surface, like, we're trying to come at things from a logical perspective and lead with that. So that's the role we're playing, of someone in their power, looking at things logically, which there's nothing wrong with that. But except that beneath that, there's this feeling of despair. So if logic isn't serving, it's time to come at it from a different perspective. And very interesting, the Emperor card popped up, which is the card of Aries, which is really, really interesting. Because Aries season is, to me, what I consider the official start of like the astrological year. But the Emperor is the CEO of the tarot. He's the father. Where as far as in the tarot, the Empress is the mother. So to me, it always gives me Capricorn vibes too, which is the season we're currently in. But so what does this say? Well, it's pretty straightforward, actually. It's like we're sitting on our respective thrones, trying to be really logical and really grounded about things. And it's interesting, they're not really looking at one another. And the star, the Queen of Swords is looking at the star. So I feel like this is where the disconnect is. And that things might be turned around when we get more into Aquarius season, but right now we're not there yet. There's still like many shifts yet to happen. But at the same sense, the fact that these two cards are upright shows that like we're trying to be in control. But I have a feeling the soul's going to encourage us to kind of let go of that mental control that we're trying to have. And be a little bit more soft with ourselves and do things that inspire hope, but we'll see. And then on the bottom of the deck, I also love, I just have to say, that they're holding the Ankh. That's like so cool. Just a secret Egyptian symbol. But yeah, I don't know, my eyes just got drawn to that. But on the bottom of the deck, we have the Four of Swords, and that indicates a time of rest and healing. So like I said, we're still in winter. We're still healing as a collective right now from the past couple of years, which have been rough. So interesting. Everything's out, like the divine masculine and the divine feminine, and they're both upright. And so that's great, but underneath it is this feeling of, ugh, like, is everything really going to be okay? Because I'm not sure I believe it is. And again, normal. It's like nothing to judge. But it's time to get into the soul of it now to see what's going on underneath the surface. So tempted to pull more cards, but I have a feeling more messages are going to come out about the three cards we pulled once I get the oracle out. So let's see underneath it. So underneath these roles that we're portraying, this logic, I've got my sword in my hand, I'm thinking clear, and maybe we are, you know what I mean? But it's just not getting us to where we want to be, is the sense I'm feeling. And, you know, it's great to be your own boss. I am right now. And I'm finding it pretty good, but it's not without struggle. It's not without, oh God, is this gonna, you know, work? And there's two important things that we have to consider with manifestation. It's like your desire of whatever you're seeking, and then the belief that it's coming to you. And I think we're struggling with the second part of that. It's like the desire is there, and we're even doing the thing, it looks like, but the belief that it will work, the hope that it will work, is what we're wavering. And so, but the thing to remember is that your soul is never not aligned. It's never not aligned. It's always aligned. And so, like, through meditation, in whatever form you find that in, like some people find it through running. I don't know why that's the one that popped in my head. I think, Nancy, you're a runner, aren't you? But yeah, so through whatever form of meditation, sometimes we connect with the soul, and we come back to remember that everything is okay, that we are okay, and that we have every reason to hope, actually, because our inner being is at a constant state of peace and knows this, but we as humans forget it, you know? So that's why meditation is so important, because you can connect back with that part of yourself that knows better. Yes, yeah. And you do your best thinking, and probably like it's like a feeling, I'm sure, like a rush of like where you can't really even like, because nothing else can get in. It's just like that alignment. And then like you build momentum the longer you're in that state. So yeah, that's so cool that that's when you do your best thinking. All right, let me just say one more quick prayer. Dear God and Goddess, thank you for letting us see the soul, and how to get back to it, and how to come to it when we're feeling, when we're struggling. Let us see the soul and find a way to access it easily, and let these messages help guide us. Amen. Blessed be. Harm none. It is done. It is done. It is done. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Amen. Aho. And so it is. And then let me just shuffle. I'm going to do 3 times again. Okay. And then one more. So interesting. Usually I'm like trying to talk this whole time, but tonight I feel this like quiet reverence. I feel like the snow really helps here in Pennsylvania. It's been like it's been snowy, and like, you know, weather that maybe you don't necessarily want to go out into. Although I drove home last night and it had just started. Oh, there we go. Okay, these I don't read in reverse, so. All right, really interesting. We got the yes card. That's like the card I always want to get. Okay. All right. What was I saying? But yeah, the snow last night coming home is so pretty too. Just watching it fall and kind of seeing it lay, it creates this quiet. And you know, then the snow turned to rain, and it's like you don't want to be out in it at that point, but like It was really peaceful listening to it. So I feel like it's okay to get quiet, you know. Best way to tap into your intuition is to silence the noise. Another reason why meditation is so important. Hi, Cece. So I'll definitely be posting this video, but I'm doing a new spread where I'm looking at the role and the soul, what's underneath that. So the roles that we are kind of playing right now as a collective, playing out, and then underneath that, the soul, like where our inner being is at, and how to come back into alignment with the soul. Hi, Mystical Tree Bard. Oh, hey, what's up? Alrighty, so right now we did get the star in reverse, so we're feeling a little bit hopeless. So that might be one of the roles we're playing. Like, oh, everything looks kind of crazy right now. But I'm trying to keep it together with the Queen of Swords. I'm being logical. I mean, that's the only word I can ever think of with the Queen of Swords, but it's just like I'm using my intellect to make clear decisions. We're clear about what we want. It's just like I was saying before, I feel like the belief that it's possible sometimes gets negated by the world. This is like the world kind of conditioning us to feel some type of way. And then this is the CEO. So the emperor. So we are like being our own boss, and we're trying to make these clear logical decisions, and we're doing that part. It's just the belief in ourselves isn't fully there. So I just pulled 3 oracle cards to see the soul and how we get to the part that's underneath these roles that we're playing, so that we can bring back that feeling of hope. All right, so for the tarot, I used the Modern Witch deck, and for the oracle cards that I'm using to get to the soul is the Work Your Light Oracle. It's my favorite deck. So we start off with a question and we get an answer. Loving it so hard. So the first card is Immerama. Am I saying that right? Immerama. And it says, where are you being called to journey to? And I just love all of the water. Like, look at that. And like the fact that the star card is here, you know, I really think we're supposed to dive into the water. Like I was saying, the word that keeps coming up for me today, yesterday was play. Today it's more of reflection. Like, what do you see reflected in this water? And see that woman, she's like going in. So where are you being called to journey to? Interesting. And I've been feeling the need to talk about meditation a lot today. And to look within, because that's how you get underneath these roles and these things that, you know, the world is giving you and that you're defining yourself as. Like, it's getting to that deeper part of you that is always in alignment. So we'll read this. The second card underneath the Queen of Swords is the Yes card. So it's kind of a funny answer. Where are you being called to journey to? Yes. So, but that's what came out under the Queen of Swords. So we'll look more into that, because I feel like the yes is going to be kind of different for everyone. But it's a good thing. Like, I'd say, like, whatever you're thinking you want is actually what you want, which is always nice. So there is alignment there, in your mindset. Again, it's the belief part, but it requires a journey inward. So we'll get to that. And then the Emperor. Why does this not surprise me? Underneath the Emperor is the crumbling. I just think that right now we're in a time of paradigm shifting, and shifting the way we think about things and work in particular. So the crumbling, what are you clinging onto? Really interesting. I feel like this is about habits. And yeah, that's the word I keep feeling. And yeah, and that's what we're clinging on to, maybe old habits that don't serve us. And there's going to be a crumbling of that. And it's within everything, in our personal lives and our professional lives. It could be even people and situations and jobs themselves that aren't serving us, or it could be smaller than that. It could be just like our personal habits that within, work settings and our relationships that need a shift. Because, and maybe even crumble, because in order to bring about new healthy habits, with the way we communicate, I want to say, the way we lead really is what the Emperor is about. Lead with confidence. So we'll see. Let's read the cards. I know the yes card is just going to say yes, 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 yes. So let's start with I'm Rama. I'm Rama. Imrama. Jeez, would help if I could say it, huh? Alright, let's look that one up. Alright, that's the inquiry card. So we got a couple of questions. Alright, it's going to take me a minute. Sorry guys, hold on one second, because why do I have a feeling that this one is actually not a question, even though it is a question. It's not in that section. Let me see. Talk amongst yourselves. It's so funny because there's so much I wanted to say, and yet I'm having a hard time remembering what I wanted to talk about earlier, which makes me think it wasn't as important as I thought. I feel like we just need to stay in the moment with this. Let me find this card. Now it's giving me a run for my money here. Let's see. I knew it was at the end. Interesting. So even though it asks a question, it's an activation card, which is helpful actually, because this is what we need to activate: the soul, the feeling of hope. So here we go. I'm just going to read. Hello to those who just joined. How are you, Emma and Nadia? Okay. Where are you being called to journey to? The Celtic word, I'm going to have to look up how you pronounce it after this. Imrama means a journey of the soul. Wow. And that's what we're looking at. The soul beneath the roll. Okay. Wow. A voyage on which we don't know where we are going, but our soul knows the way. If you pulled this card, you are either being called on a soul journey or you're already on one. It could be to a physical ancient place or metaphoric. When we journey to places that our soul remembers, a shift takes place, both within us and to the planet as well. You are being called to journey to a place that is sacred to your soul. Perhaps it is a journey to the world's sacred sites, or called to cross the country, climb a mountain, lie on the desert floor, or drink from an ancient well. There are places to see and old friends to meet. I see spontaneous pilgrimages in your future. If a physical voyage isn't possible, journey through the portal of your heart. Follow the invisible soul trail and be willing to explore. Maybe read a book or watch a movie about a sacred time or place. Or perhaps you're being called to study an ancient lineage. Ooh, I love this. Or body of work. Whatever your circumstances, your soul is ready to journey deep. Wow. All right. And then here's the activation. Hold the card on your heart and say, may seeds of light long ago planted begin to rise. I am ready to remember ancient secrets from lands that my soul knows from times past. May I be held by the ancient lineages that my soul has served, and remember that I don't have to do it all alone. Oh, perfect. It's perfect. I mean, wow. So, it's so interesting because I do journeys like that once a month through classes I take with the Sage Goddess, which is not an ad for her programs, but because there's like a bunch of ways you can do that. I also really do want to travel And I feel like the pandemic has made us all want to travel. I want to go to Ireland, where my lineage is. I also have some family from Lancashire, England. And I want to explore a connection to the goddess Bellissima. I've seen her in journeys before, and she's a fire goddess, and I'm a Sagittarius, so I think in a past life I might have been like a devotee of hers. And that's come up. So this is just like how it's come up for me. And then, every month in our classes, we'll do these journeys, and my teacher's lineage is Greek on her father's side, and the program this year is Oracle. So we took a journey to Aditon, which is the inner sanctum of the Oracle of Delphi, where the Oracle would, predict things in a riddle or like a cryptic way. But Aditon itself means like the inner sanctum. And, when they said journey to the heart, that's what it made me think of. So, there's lots of ways to do that. I am going to recommend Sage Goddess programs because sometimes it's hard to find the right teacher, but the saying, and it's funny because I was thinking about it the other day, because I'm making a vision board right now, and I think that's another great way to meditate. But anyhow, when the student is ready, the teacher appears, is the phrase that I kept hearing the other day. And so I think that maybe we're manifesting those guides that will get us to those places or those trips. So, if your lineage is something that you want to explore, whether it be your physical lineage or some of us feel like we're starseeds, I would definitely take the time to explore that. I've explored both and found such rich meaning, and it's only made me want to explore more, and travel to different places in the world. It's just so funny because again, the classes I'm taking are going to do that. I also take within that larger program a crystal healing class, and each month we learn about a different place. And this past month we learned about Tibet and Mount Kailash. And that's fascinating too. So I would just start. A good start to this is thinking of the places you want to journey to, and then relaxing your mind, lighting a candle, and just thinking about it for 5 minutes. That's one way. Another way is through a guided meditation with a teacher. Sure, I find guided meditations helpful if you have a hard time getting there on your own, which I do sometimes. But yeah, it works. Especially if you're listening, if you incorporate sound of some kind. I know my teacher drums a lot, and it drops me in. And if you have someone you listen to, a coach or teacher who has a voice that you vibe with, that can be a really powerful way, and a sign almost to know who to pick. Oh my goodness, I'm having a hard time remembering my words. What else did I want to say? And I do think you can even do this. Oh yeah, vision boards. I was going to talk briefly about that. I'm creating this vision board, and I should post a picture on here. Maybe I will. I'm not finished it yet because I created this vision board, and I posted lots of pictures of I had lots of pictures of my teacher because I order stuff from her and it will come with a picture of her. So I made this whole elemental calendar. I started in the east, with the new beginnings and her opening a circle, and did this whole thing. And there was other pictures on there too. It wasn't just her. It wasn't some creepy shrine to her. It was my vision board, but my mom goes, well, where are you in it? I'm like, oh, I have one picture. She's like, no, you need to be more in it so you can envision yourself having this life. But it's really interesting. They're a powerful tool because more than anything, it takes you out of your head in that logical sense. I was staring at it the one night, and it really makes you think what you want, and how you see yourself and what images like of yourself you most connect to. It's funny, I have this picture of me that I think is like pretty or whatnot, but I kind of know what my mood was when I took it, and it's on the thing, and I'm like, do I take it down? You know what I mean? I haven't yet, because I don't know why it feels like it needs to be there, but I know exactly what other pictures I want to put. And it like this whole process takes you out of, you know, the news or whatever, like, you know, health challenges you're going through, or like whatever it is. It takes you out of that zone and makes you think about what you desire. And the more you stare at it, the more it like becomes this unconscious connection. You start meditating. So vision boards I highly recommend, and they don't have to be traditional. Like my mom even has one to the side here. I don't think, see over there, a bunch of like just fun things to like let your mind kind of go and wander to the beauty you want to create, the beauty you want in your life. And the other thing I was going to say, the last thing I was going to say about this before I move on and to the last card here, is shows. Like, if you want to explore a place, you could watch different shows to explore it. And yeah, it depends where you want to go. Like, of course, the first one on my mind is Outlander, just because that's like so Scotland, you know what I mean? Which is a hard show to watch. I don't know. I wouldn't recommend it unless you want to connect with Scotland, yeah, that's the first one that popped into my mind. And then as far as like sacred sites go, I definitely check out The Gift on Netflix. Just look it up. It's amazing. What temple do they go to? Göbekli Tepe. If you've never heard of Göbekli Tepe, you have to research it after this. But like, or just check out the first episode of The Gift on Netflix. And really, with any show, you're being transported to those places. So I feel like that's a good way to do it too. And then, of course, through books as well. So finding that medium for you to journey. Or, you know, see me in class. I'll be with the Sage Goddess. That's the one time I don't comment in the feed is during Journey, because I really do go somewhere. And it's made me extremely clairvoyant, actually, which makes me shy to say. It's so funny, because I was recording a podcast the other night with Mary Meet. They're a metaphysical shop in Skipback, and the ladies of Mary Meet, they call themselves. And what was I going to say? Shoot. And I lost my train of thought again tonight. Cool, so that's how this moon's gonna go. Oh, we were talking about like our spiritual gifts and stuff, our soul gifts. And I got really shy at the end. But like, I mean, this work, it will open up that channel and your connection so that you access that much quicker. Because we all do have these soul gifts. Like, I'm not special. I've just chosen to focus on them, and like your soul gifts are going to be different than my soul gifts, but we all have them. And so it's interesting to see like what psychic gifts you have. But yeah, those journeys have made me, during the journeys, I'm extremely clairvoyant. So like the cards is more clairaudience, which is like when you kind of hear and feel things, clairsentience. But yeah, so those are my recommendations there. So meditation, basically, is what's going to bring back the feeling of hope, and exploring lineages and places that feel sacred to our heart. So I kind of love that for us. And then the Queen of Swords. So like whatever you are thinking about, you bring about. And I feel like the universe is just saying like, yes, you're doing a good job in being clear in your thinking. So that is half of the process. So now we just have to get strong in our faith that what we are thinking and what we are thinking about is coming. It is coming. Like, that's the whole part. The believing part. And I've been listening to a lot of Abraham Hicks, and she was talking about that in one of her videos today that I clicked on, and I was like, oh, that makes so much sense. And then finally, we're going to read the Crumbling card, which I've been feeling this for quite a while, but like it scares people, but honestly it shouldn't, because it's just like the crumbling of old habits. Like that are preventing you from having space to create new habits where you could lead in a positive way. And for me, you know, I like, as most people do at the new year, I don't know. I mean, I don't really set resolutions or anything like that. I know that's kind of like fallen out of favor, but it does give me a minute to like look at my health. And even though we're in the season of winter still, and like really the astrological year doesn't start till Aries season, I've reflected on that, and I've already made some changes that feel so good, even if I don't do it for the whole year. You know what I mean? Like, you can work with shorter cycles to change different habits, and you can approach this all with play. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be so serious, and like, offer yourself grace, because these are weird, hard times we're living through. But one thing I'm proud of that I manifested, because you know the full moon is about recognizing what you've manifested, is I'm doing the whole dry January. I started January 6th. And I did it for clarity. I just wanted to feel my best. And and it's really brought my vulnerability more to the surface, frankly. And like, all my feelings are just there. And that's not been the easiest thing, frankly. I mean, because even if you're only having, you know, one drink, it numbs it down a little, and I never do that when I channel. And like, so I feel like sometimes, like, your desires are what kind of guides you to form these habits. So it's a good time to reflect on all of that, because there's a couple retrogrades going on right now, Mercury and Venus. And that's one thing I've been finding really interesting, that I haven't had any alcohol since the 6th of January. And like, wow, my dreams have been nuts. But yeah, it's like good. Like, I feel like it's a cleansing of sorts. It's just letting me feel all my feelings, and it's showing me clearly, without any sort of like that kind of a substance, what I'm feeling. And like, so from there you can decide what needs to crumble and fall away, which is the card I'm going to read to end us off here in this tarot card reading, and then I'll post the video and try to do a separate post. But it's really special that you guys are here for the video, because I do feel like this is the deeper dive. So thank you. I've always really, really appreciated that you take time out to invest in like what I think is self-care, you know, just like looking inward to see what's going on, to see what's going on in your soul. All right, so here's the final card, the crumbling, and this is an inquiry card, so we end on a question. Interesting, isn't that so like the universe? The crumbling. What are you clinging on to? There's a shift happening right now where anything inauthentic can no longer survive. Relationships, jobs, social structures, anything built on shaky ground. Wow, the card is like shaking in my hand. That's really weird. That anything built on shaky ground is destined to tumble down. It's happening to bring you back home, which the Cancer Moon is all about, to who you truly are, both individually and to society as a whole, so you can live a life that is in alignment with who you truly are. And that is, you know, what happens when your role and your soul are become bounced. You align with your soul, and you feel that alignment, and it shows up as like feeling good. When you're in the thick of it, it can feel like a personal attack from the universe. Have faith, which the star universe is asking us to flip that around and have faith. Have faith, because the difficult times will be your defining moments. You will be reborn in the fire. You are being called to surrender. I knew it. We're being called to let go, to stop trying to hold it all together, to loosen your grip, to let the crumbling occur. I kid you not, the card is like shaking in my hand. I'm going to try to hold it harder. To let the, you know what? No, I'm not. To let the crumbling occur. It may be difficult at first, but in the end, the sooner you let go, the sooner the rebirthing will occur. What are you trying to hold together? What are you trying your best to avoid? How are you trying to pretend everything is okay? You have what it takes to allow what is falling away to tumble and fall. Once the tower has crumbled, you will be able to rebuild your home on solid ground with mighty foundations and a view that is so magnificent that it will take your breath away each new morn. Kali, the goddess of destruction, and the Black Madonna are with you now. Lay it on their altar. They can hold it all. What are you clinging to for fear of nothing coming to take its place? Wow, so true. Oh gosh, that card's kind of everything. Yeah, I guess that it's interesting. I'm just thinking back to my vision board and also how magic works, which is when you release something to the earth and when you transmute it, which is what you're like, you give it back to the earth. Like, that, by the way, put your hand on the floor, wherever that is, and whatever you're trying to release, ask the earth to take it, because the earth can hold it all. But once you do that releasing, however you do that, that is a powerful way to do it that way. But any way that you do that, right? Once you release what isn't working, like they're saying, the universe fills it in, because there's this empty space. So that's where our intentions are important. But if you don't do the releasing stuff and you try to call new stuff in, there's no room for it. So releasing is just a huge part of the process. And definitely I feel like we're being called to let it kind of fall apart, even if we can't look like this boss babe, this, what is that term? I don't know. She's really cool. She's just sitting in her power, but like, we don't want this to be a front. We want this to be real. And maybe first something else does have to kind of just fall away. I mean, that's a less like freaky phrase than fall apart. Maybe it's both, you know what I mean? But once we let that fall away, we can fill it in with new intention at the next new moon, or frankly, whenever, and aim stuff there. But I feel like, the universe is asking us to let go of our grip on the illusion that everything is okay. If something's not okay, or if something's not serving you, it is time to just like let it go. Let it go. And yeah, it's funny that came up. I had a crazy dream last night. Maybe, is this how I want to end it? And I do feel like since I've stopped drinking, my dreams have gotten crazy. And I think as a psychic person, it's easy to get overwhelmed psychically with the collective energy. But I had this crazy dream, and I watch happy things. You know what I mean? Like, I really do try to do my best, but I'm human. And yeah, so I don't know where this dream came from, but the weirdest dream. But at the end of it, there was like these white vans outside my house, and somebody was trying to kill me. And I pulled a Wonder Woman, where, like, I don't know if you've ever seen that movie where she just swipes the bullet away, but instead of that, I don't know, I held up this piece of, like, it looked like metal, and all of the bullets that they tried to shoot went, like, into the metal, and they stuck there, and I was fine. And then I took the whole piece of metal, and I gave it to the earth, and I transmuted it. And I'm, like, a lucid dreamer. That's one of my, like, I don't know, I guess my other soul gifts are definitely a part of just who I am. But in my dreams, it's so interesting. I find solutions that, maybe don't seem realistic, but work in the dream, and they clear things that way too. So your dreams are very powerful to work with too, and are always talking to you there. If you do have them, they're important to pay attention to, especially near like these full moons, especially near a full moon in Cancer, which is a water sign. And that intuitive side of you knows what this is, what needs to crumble away. So I would say trust it. I would say let it go. And if you're finding or wanting a way to release it, a good way is to bury it. That's another thing to do. But like, say you're in a place where you can't do that, just touch the floor wherever you are and give it to the earth and ask that it be transmuted for the highest good of all and to take it away from you. And honestly, even if you just do that part of the process and, focus your beliefs on things you want to attract after, you're going to be good. Like, even if you did the releasing part, I feel like that's what the universe is really asking you to do right now. Because I think there's like too much clutter there for anything new to come in. So if you're finding that to be the struggle, there might be something you need to release. Because if you're clearing, you're asking, and you're still not receiving, it just means that something else has to go that like is still blocking that thing from coming in. So, but yeah. So that's what I'm getting for the full moon in Cancer. A really deep reading. I definitely would look into your lineage. I definitely want to know where those places are for you if you feel like sharing. If not, that's fine too. But yeah, definitely explore that. It's even fun too to take a starseed quiz if that's like something you're connected to, because I feel like my spirit guides keep saying to say that. I've done that before, and I am connected to the starseed Sirius, which makes a lot of sense. Yeah, and that's a whole nother rabbit hole to fall into. Like, the lineage of this planet is really fascinating if you are into that, like Lemuria and Atlantis. Those are fun things to look up and explore. Yeah. So, and then after that, it's just a matter of releasing what in this life isn't serving you. It's kind of giving you a map to manifestation here. So it's kind of really cool. All right, I'm going to end it there and close the circle and release our guides and guardians. Let me know if you guys have any questions. I will post this and I'll do a post. It's so interesting. My energy just feels really calm right now. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to tell you. I guess just be gentle with yourself during this whole time, and to remember that things are going to get easier as the year progresses, and we are still in a period of rest, and that during this period of rest it's really important to reflect on what isn't working, and take the time to be honest with yourself. All right, and if you need a personal reading, that's maybe the last thing I should say. Definitely direct message me on here. That's the main way I'm still doing it. I do have my website, cardsandcoffeewithjanine.com. And if you would like one in person, I will be at Merry Meet. They are now at 4059 West Skipback Pike in Skipback, Pennsylvania. I'll be there starting in February on the first 2 Saturdays of the month. And I'll keep you updated with all of that. Yeah. And yeah. Thank you so much for being here. All right, let me release the guides and guardians. Okay, first I would like to release Spirit from the circle. Thank you so much for being here tonight and reminding us that belief is the most powerful thing, that's what will draw our desires to us. And thank you so much for being here and reminding us that magic is real and breathing life into us and all the elements. I release you with so much gratitude from the circle. Guides and guardians of the North element of Earth, thank you so much for protecting us throughout this reading and throughout the times ahead. Thank you for keeping us safe. Thank you for giving us the patience we need to see things manifest in a form that is for the highest good of all. We release you with so much gratitude from the circle. Thank you for keeping us safe. Guides and guardians of the West element of water, thank you so much for being here tonight. Thank you for showing us the reflection that needs to take place and is taking place, and where we're strong and where we need to dive deeper. And thank you for letting us enjoy that journey and go on those journeys to the inner sanctums of our soul and our being. We release you with so much gratitude from the circle. Guides and guardians of the south, element of fire, thank you for being here tonight to show us that there is a crumbling that needs to occur for rebirth to happen. Thank you for being there with us throughout that transformation process and guiding us and helping us burn clean all that no longer serves and letting us up inside with new passions and a new pathway forward. We release you from the circle with so much gratitude. And finally, guides and guardians of the east, element of air, thank you for giving us clear messages tonight and reminding us that our sight has been clear so that now, once the hope is there, those new beginnings are going to come in. And thank you for being there to give us clear messages that are easy to understand in all ways outside of this reading in our everyday lives. Thank you for reminding us that each new day is another opportunity to set intentions and believe in magic and to keep our hope alive during this time and know that expansion is on the way that will serve the highest good of all. We release you with so much gratitude from the circle. I release all guides and guardians of love and light, and with that, the circle is closed. Amen. Blessed be, harm none. It is done, it is done, it is done. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm Metaho, and so it is. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. I really, really, really appreciate it. Gosh, it looks like I'm crying. I think the lights are cracking me up tonight. They're just like creating this, but yeah, I'm not. I'm just like cozy, comfy, and I really hope you have a good moon. I really hope you, full moon, hope you feel the sense of belonging, and just know how special you are, and that there is a part of you that is always aligned, that you are not free to connect with, you are encouraged to connect with that part of you. Whenever you need to, it's there for you eternally. So I love you guys. Keep the hope alive. I'll talk to you very soon.